College, ran a study that directly tested whether dogs feel guilt. Owners were asked to leave the room after telling their dog not to eat a treat. Some dogs ate it, some did not. Then owners were told, sometimes truthfully, sometimes falsely, whether their dog had eaten the treat. When owners believed their dog had misbehaved, they greeted them with a scolding tone. When they believed the dog had behaved, they greeted them warmly. The result was not what anyone expected. The guilty look appeared most reliably not when the dog had actually eaten the treat. It appeared when the owner came and prepared to scold. Dogs who had done nothing wrong showed more guilty-looking behavior when their owner was told they had misbehaved. Dogs who had actually eaten the treat showed less of the look when their owner came in without suspicion. The look is not a confession. It is a response. Your dog is not showing you what they did. They are reading you. They are responding to your body language, your tone, the tension in your posture the moment you walked through that door. They picked that up before you opened your mouth. And they are doing the only thing their nervous system knows to do with an approaching storm. Make themselves smaller. Signal submission. Try to slow whatever is coming. That is not guilt. That is an animal trying to survive a social moment they can feel but cannot fully understand. 2. Why the confusion makes complete sense. You are not wrong for reading it as guilt. Your brain was designed to see intention in faces. Humans are pattern recognition machines, and we are especially wired to read emotion into eyes and posture. When your dog lowers their head and avoids your gaze, every human instinct you have says that is shame. That is the body language of someone who knows they did something wrong. The problem is that you are translating one species through the emotional vocabulary of another. Dogs communicate submission and appeasement through the same body language humans use to express shame. The lowered body, the averted gaze, the slow movement. To us, those signals read as guilt because we associate that posture with internal emotional experience. To your dog, those signals are social tools. They are not expressions of what your dog feels inside. They are messages directed at you, designed to change what happens next. Your dog is not reflecting on what they did an hour ago. They are responding to what you are doing right now. 3. Dogs live in the present in ways we do not fully appreciate. A dog's sense of time is not structured the way ours is. They do not sit in an empty house mentally replaying the moment they knocked the bin over and thinking about how disappointed you will be when you return. That capacity, to mentally simulate a future reaction to a past action, requires a type of reflective self-awareness that the current evidence does not support in dogs. What dogs have instead is something arguably more powerful in their world: an extraordinary sensitivity to the present moment, to scent, to sound, to subtle shifts in the emotional temperature of a room. They know something is different the moment you arrive home. They feel it before you speak, and their nervous system responds immediately, not to their memory of what they did, but to what is happening in front of them right now. This is not a limitation. It is a different kind of intelligence. But it does mean that punishment delivered after the fact, even minutes after, is not connecting to the behavior you want to address. Your dog is not linking your anger to the chewed cushion. They are linking your anger to your arrival home. And over time, that is exactly what some dogs begin to dread. Not the consequence of misbehavior, just you coming through the door. 4. What you are actually teaching when you scold the look. When you come home, see the mess, and respond to the guilty look with scolding, something is being learned. Just not what you intended. Your dog does not think, I misbehaved, the consequence arrived, I should not do that again. Your dog thinks, when this person comes home in this way, things go badly. I need to show more submission faster next time. So the look gets more convincing. The ears go flatter. The body drops lower. The eyes get wider and sadder. Not because your dog feels worse about what they did. Because they have learned that a more exaggerated appeasement display produces a faster de-escalation from the threat in front of them. You are not correcting a behavior. You are training a performance. And the behavior itself, the chewing, the bin raiding, the counter-surfing, continues unchanged, because its actual causes have never been addressed. Boredom, anxiety, insufficient stimulation. A dog whose needs were not fully met during the hours they were alone. 5. What your dog actually experiences when left alone. The behaviors you come home to are usually not acts of defiance. They are symptoms. A dog who destroys things when alone is often a dog who is struggling. Their nervous system is dysregulated. Their arousal has nowhere to go. They are not thinking about you while they chew. They are coping. Movement helps regulate the nervous system. Chewing releases tension. Scent investigation provides stimulation. What looks from the outside like deliberate destruction is almost always an animal trying to manage internal states they have no other tools to manage. The guilty look when you return is not an acknowledgement of that. It is a social response to you. The two things are happening in completely separate cognitive moments. One was an hour ago. One is right now. Your dog is not connecting them. And the gap between those two moments is where all the confusion lives. 6. What the look is actually telling you. Once you stop stop reading the look as guilt, you can start reading it as what it actually is. A communication, and a rather sophisticated one. Your dog looked at you the moment you walked in and within seconds, sometimes fractions of a second, read your emotional state with an accuracy most humans cannot match. They detected the shift in your posture, the tension in your breath, the slight change in how you moved through the door, and they responded immediately with a behavior designed to reduce conflict, signal non-threat, and invite reconciliation. That is not the behavior of an animal without social intelligence. That is the behavior of an animal whose social intelligence is so finely tuned to you specifically that they can read you before you have spoken a single word. Your dog is not performing guilt. They are performing relationship. They are saying, in the only language they have, that whatever is coming, they do not want it to damage what exists between you. They are reaching toward repair before the rupture even fully arrives. That is not nothing. In many ways, that is extraordinary. 7. What this changes. Understanding this does not mean you stop addressing the behavior. A dog who is consistently destructive or getting into things when alone needs support. More enrichment before you leave. A fuller routine. Mental stimulation. Sometimes professional guidance. The behavior has causes, and those causes are worth finding. But it means you stop treating the look as evidence of a moral failing. You stop believing your dog knew it was wrong and did it anyway. You stop feeling deceived when the look is convincing but the behavior repeats. Your dog is not manipulating you. They are not smirking behind that sad expression. They are genuinely trying to navigate a social moment they find threatening with the only tools they were built with. And the more accurately you read those tools, the more clearly you can see the actual dog behind them. Not a guilty dog. Not a defiant dog. A dog who is exquisitely tuned to you, doing everything they can to keep the relationship intact, in a language that looks so much like guilt that we built an entire story around it. The story was never true, but what replaced it is, if anything, more remarkable. Your dog does not feel guilt, but they feel you, completely, immediately, and with a precision that most relationships never reach. And that look, the one you have been calling guilt your entire life, was never a confession. It was always a bridge. Every video on this channel begins the same way, with a question most dog owners have never stopped to ask. And then we go looking for the real answer. Not the simplified version, not the comfortable assumption, the actual science, the studies, the behavioral research that takes years to surface and rarely reaches people in a way that feels like a real conversation. That is what we do here every single time. If this video gave you something, a new way of seeing your dog, or a moment that made you stop and think, then do one thing before you leave. Hit like, drop a comment telling us about the guiltiest look your dog has ever given you, and subscribe so you do not miss what we are putting out next. Because the more you understand your dog, the better life gets for both of you. And that is always worth showing up.